Hey, in search of Jacksonville, welcome to episode number 4. Today we're going to be visiting with a good friend of mine, Caleb Duke. He's a doctor here in Jacksonville, but he does functional medicine, which is a little different than going to your primary doctor. I used to call it alternative medicine, and in the video you might hear refer it to alternative medicine, but he likes to call it functional medicine. Now this intro was actually done later because the original intro I did, the audio got messed up. So you'll see me in a different outfit throughout the video, but that shouldn't affect anything. So let's go and see Caleb, and I think you're really going to like this video. Caleb, what's happening?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So this is your place.
Welcome to Wellness Accelerated.
Oh, I appreciate it. So tell me about what you actually do here.
So what we do here, Wellness Accelerated, is a functional medicine practice.
Yep.
Have you heard the term before?
A little bit. I mean, I always probably thought of it as alternative medicine, maybe.
Gotcha.
Would that be a good clarifier, or is that a better term?
It's not far off,
Okay.
Right? So I'll explain. Functional medicine is a treatment approach.
Okay.
And it is designed to identify and address the root causes of disease.
Okay.
So one of the easiest ways to wrap your head around this for most people is like if you go to your general practitioner with high blood pressure, they're going to put you on 2, 3, 4 different blood pressure medications right out of the bat. If somebody comes to me with high blood pressure, I want to understand why their blood pressure is high.
Right.
You know, we probably need to look at your diet and make sure that you're eating correctly. We need to look at your exercise habits, make sure those are right. We'll look at your stress levels and your sleep. We might look at detoxing out chemicals out of your body.
Yeah.
So really for us, functional medicine is, this ground floor, giving the body what it needs to function well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember my dad got type 2 diabetes, right? But I remember when he's first diagnosed, he was able to control all that by changing his diet, adding some exercise, and I think he went like another 5 or 10 years before he finally ended up having to go on some medicine.
Yeah.
Would you say that's probably a good a good idea of like kind of what you do?
Yeah. It's really helping people, support them, like meeting people where they're at, and then providing them with the education, tools, and knowledge to really start from the ground floor and build a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
I
know we're going to go take a look at your place because I know you've got different rooms where you do different things.
Yeah.
But while we're up here up front, I know you've got some supplements and stuff that you do. Tell us a little bit about that before we,
So supplementation, big part of what we do. I tell people you can supplement your way to better health, but you can't supplement your way to optimal health. Gotcha. So a lot of the things in the clinic, we as a society have to get away from this idea of searching for the silver bullet that's going to cure all of our problems. What's the one thing I can find that'll just take all my problems away?
Right.
And the unfortunate thing is that that's not how nature works.
Right.
That's not how we were designed to function. But as it relates to supplementation, the problem is that our food is not what it used to be. It's not as nutritionally dense as it was 200 years ago. Our great-grandparents, when they ate an apple, they'd be getting 50 times more nutrition than what we are now. And a lot of that's due to over-farming the land and just depleting it of the nutrients. So there is a need for supplementation. We have every variety of supplement you could imagine, and really just the best of the best when it comes to supplementation.
And I guess once you start looking into somebody's root of what's causing whatever it is that's ailing them, when you talked about diet, if you can't get that through the diet, then it would be something that they would add with maybe a supplement to the diet.
Even people who have a clean diet and are eating the right things, because of the reasons we talked about previously, you're still not getting optimal levels of these nutrients. And for us, one of the key things about functional medicine is like, we want to give the body the building blocks, and that's what supplementation does.
Yeah.
It gives your body what it needs so that your body can function the way it was designed to build everything up, as opposed to coming from, top down kind of approach and artificially, creating an environment in the body where we shift something dramatically, but the body's all knowledgeable, essentially. You can't fool it. So if you artificially shift something on one side, there's always a counterbalance on the other side.
Yin to the yang.
Yeah, very much a balance.
Right. And I think it's also nice that as opposed to like, more modern medicine where you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, you have high blood pressure, take this.
Yeah.
If you have, an arrhythmia, take that, whereas you're getting more, like you said, down to the root of what's causing it.
Yeah, it's symptom triage is what happens in most of modern medicine today. Can't sleep, let's give you something that'll help you sleep. Can't focus, let's give you something that'll help you focus. It's just not really the way the body was designed to work. That approach is pretty new in terms of when you think about the history of humankind. Modern medicine's only been around for the last 100, 200 years kind of a thing with.
So would you say like more modern medicine is them trying to find that silver bullet? Like you walk in, you go, I've got this, like here's a silver bullet, it'll fix it for you. As opposed to getting, like you said, more down to the functional process of what's causing.
Yeah. Well, understanding that the body is all connected and everything is related to each other.
Sure.
So one of the issues with standard medicine today is that we have specialists and everybody has their specialists. You can see a heart specialist, you see a brain specialist, you have your primary specialist, and you have a, hormone specialist.
Right.
And there's not a lot of overlap there. There's nobody really bringing it all together. And so that's one of the things we do. It's like, let's just step back a little bit, get the big 10,000 foot view,
right,
and start addressing health that way. And when you do, you'll find that addressing one element, like if you have inflammation in your body, if we can lower your inflammation, it's like the iceberg effect, right? You'll change a number of things in your body. Sure. So that's kind of the way we do it, and it's how we're a little bit different.
Awesome. Well, let's go take a round of your place.
Yeah. All right. So Dan, this is one of our primary treatment rooms.
Okay.
It's a big space, right? We run group exercise classes in here. We'll do workshops where we might bring in the community and educate them on certain topics. And we also have a lot of our modalities set up in here. So like these two are our massage chairs.
Okay.
And then we've got our beamer set up here.
Okay.
Which we're going to try today if you're up for it.
Perfect. Let's try it out.
Nice. Okay.
Just sit down in it?
Yep. You'll just sit. Okay. Is there anything that's ailing you today particularly?
My voice. I had quite a bit of engagements this past weekend where I was talking a lot, and I think I just lost my voice. But other than that, I feel pretty good. Yeah.
Why don't we go for like neck, head area? So there's two different things happening here. You're sitting on a mat. We also have this belt here. What Beamer is it is a type of modality. It's called PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. So as this is going, it's going to emit an electromagnetic field from that mat. The special thing about Beamer is that it has a patented waveform that directly targets your microcirculation. So fundamentally, it's going to help with blood flow in the body, which is a really important thing because blood flow and reduced blood flow is the number one cause of disease and dysfunction, regardless of the pathology. So I'll start it now.
Okay. And then just sit here, right?
Yep. So it's totally normal not to feel much. Some people who are sensitive will feel lighter, kind of like a tingle sensation.
Okay.
But it's not one of those things that's going to like shock you or anything like that. It's very subtle in that way. And
now, how often would you do this type of treatment? Is it something that's just a one-time thing, or?
So it can be effective for one-time use. If somebody's got like a low back problem and it's really bugging them, using the Beamer might help that low back loosen up. Getting more blood flow to that area is going to help with the muscles and in the joints and everything else and reducing that pain.
What this does is it isolates more like a specific spot of the whole body.
Yeah. So you have the whole body effect and then you have that more isolated spot.
Gotcha.
Belt, essentially. But in a perfect world, the effects of Beamer last anywhere from like 10 to 16 hours, depending on the individual. So if you wanted to have optimal blood flow throughout the day, you'd be doing it twice a day.
Okay, so you like get up in the morning, maybe do it before or after you get ready? And
Yeah, usually like a morning, evening routine.
maybe at the evening after you had dinner or something, you sit down. You could probably sit down and watch TV with this thing, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's easy living.
kill two birds with one stone, right?
Yep.
Cool. Well, so while I'm sitting here, tell us a little bit more about your practice because I know that your mom started it and has been in business here in Jacksonville before she passed, and she's a great lady. Um, I was very blessed to know her. But tell us a little bit about how that whole process came about.
Yeah, no, I think you really nailed it. She was a very special person.
Yeah.
So my mom, Dr. Ellen Duke, was a chiropractor here in town, 30 years,
Yeah.
ran her own practice, was always very holistically minded with things. And towards the latter end of her chiropractic career, she ended up getting an autoimmune disease. And unfortunately, it took away her ability to adjust folks the way that she always had. Now she was a workaholic, so there's no way she was not going to be working,
Right.
or into the later years of her life. But with her disease, she ended up finding functional medicine,
Yeah.
and it was a way for her to improve her autoimmune condition and really what she found to be her second career.
Yeah.
And so she went on this quest of diving into functional medicine and developing her own practice.
Yeah.
And so she did that for about 5 years. And then in 2023, she unfortunately passed,
Right.
very unexpectedly. And she was 2 weeks away from a grand opening of
This place.
Wellness Accelerated.
Right.
Yep.
So tell us how you got involved because I know, you went to school and got your doctorate. Tell us a little bit about how you transitioned into her practice.
Yeah. So for me, my education, all of it, University of Miami. Go Canes, right? Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Gator fans and Seminole fans.
But for me, it was, I started out down there and I got my bachelor's degree in physiology.
Okay.
And it was really an incredible degree. And I learned so much about the body and how it functions. And I just fell in love with it. It's like when you treat the body right, it will behave correctly.
Now, was that at the University of Miami? Is that part of the actual medical plan, or is that a subsidiary of that? Because I know they have a great medical school down there.
They've got Miller School of Medicine's a fantastic program. This would be undergrad, so it's not like a direct shoe-in, but a lot of the kids in my class, they all jumped to medicine afterwards and went with that standard med school route. It's just such a good base to know how the body functions. But for me, growing up with this holistic chiropractor mom, I knew medicine wasn't going to be the thing for me. The trend is we're going to prescribe medications for this thing, and it's very robotic and cold. And I saw her my whole life treating patients with this very relational thing. So after that degree, I went on to get a master's degree in nutrition for health and human performance. So that was like this 1-2 punch, It was like, all right, well, if you get the behaviors right, and then you fuel the body with the right fuel, you can really knock out a lot of problems.
Yeah.
From there, I ended up getting I entered another master's degree program for strength and conditioning. I was an athlete growing up, and I figured, all right, well, if you treat the body well and you fuel it right, how far can you push human performance? So loved that, worked with some of the best athletes in the nation down there. Yeah. And while I was in that program, I got accepted into the doctorate of physical therapy at UM, which is in the Miller School of Medicine.
Okay.
And from there, it was like, okay, I have all of this good education and knowledge. And that program really gave me the opportunity to tie everything together in this clinical package.
Gotcha.
And that's where I started, I started practicing as a physical therapist for several years. And I was just so let down by the way it's run, traditionally across the board. So for your information,
you were in someone else's practice?
Yeah.
Physical therapy?
Mm-hmm. And so kind of your standard outpatient practice, you see 3 patients, 4 patients an hour. At the end of the day, you got 25 notes to do. You're there 3 hours afterwards. And it's just unfortunate because we go to school, we learn all of these amazing skills, and then it gets boiled down into a very watered down product. Yeah. Because anybody who divides their attention multiple times, it's just not going to be as good. So for me, So Dan, this is our physical therapy room.
Okay.
I am a physical therapist, and yeah,
This is probably your favorite room in the house, right?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, and then being able to create it the way I want is cool.
Yeah.
Definitely different from most physical therapy practices that you walk into. Sometimes they have a bunch of machines and stuff like that. We're not doing that. I'm an individualized provider where it's all one-on-one care.
Right.
You know.
In other words, you're actually the machine.
Yeah.
Like when somebody comes in, just for the people out there, if you watched episode 2 with Bruce, the dumpster crusher, he was in a motorcycle accident. And I know he comes to you. He was having trouble with getting his knee back. And I know he was super excited because he was getting more mobility with that knee. Just coming to see you.
Yeah, Bruce is such a cool example because he really, it shines through. So he went with standard physical therapy for almost a year after his accident, and he just didn't get the results he was looking for. And so I drug him in here. I said, Bruce, come on, we can get this thing right.
Right.
And it's not that it's an immediate turnover, but he's been progressing steadily since then. And
baby steps, right?
Absolutely.
If you're just staying stagnant, then you're not really doing anything, right?
Correct. Yep. So let me show you whole body vibration if you haven't had it before. This is pretty cool.
I think I actually have done this at a chiropractor once before.
Nice. Okay, so this you're familiar.
Similar to it, yeah.
So we'll put you on.
Okay.
You can hang on if you want. Yep. It's going to ramp up and down. The cool thing about whole body vibration is that throughout your entire body, you have these nerves, right? And they pick up sensation. If I touch you on your arm, you can feel it.
Yeah.
If you touch a hot surface, you feel it.
Right.
Cold, same thing. Pressure. So whole body vibration is a way to really flood your nervous system with information, essentially. And your body has to process all of that.
Yeah.
So it can be a really good option for people who are in pain because we are blocking that pain signal, essentially. It's like we're swapping one for the other. The other things that are good about it are that it's going to get a lot more mobility in your joints specifically. So you might step off and feel a little loosey-goosey.
Yeah, I was just, you asked me if I had any issues. I do, like when I drive a lot, because doing real estate photography, I'm all over 3 counties, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when I drive a lot, my right hip will get kind of tight.
Yeah.
It bothers my lower back. And I think it's is it the iliac muscle?
Yeah, you nailed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because it's so deep in the hip, you can't massage it is very hard to do.
Yeah.
For many years, I thought I was having back issues, and it wasn't. It was actually my hip.
Super, super common.
Yeah. So
really common.
Like this really helped strengthen that hip some, or is that?
It's going to get it to activate for sure.
Okay.
So it's activating, which is important. It's going to help it to release and relax afterwards. It's firing constantly, so it's going to get blood flow there. It for sure is going to loosen up that joint a lot, get a lot of activation in the actual SI joints, what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can feel it speeding up.
Yeah. So this is on program. It'll ramp up for you. So you'll get a good demonstration of how high this thing goes.
Yeah.
The other things that are really great about whole body vibration, particularly for our aging population, what happens as we age and what do your doctors warn you about? Falls.
Yep.
And it's a result of reduced balance. And so having this motor activation, you got these muscles firing very quick on both sides. It's one way that we can really help reduce the risk of falls and help people with that reaction time.
Yeah. So does this do like the quick, what do you call it? The quick twitch muscles?
Yeah, sure. Yep. That, and then the other cool thing about whole body vibration is it's stimulating your whole lymphatic system, which has been getting a lot of attention more lately, and you'll see people rolling their face and stuff like that. So we tie it into the whole body detox as well. Yeah, it's a really good option.
Awesome. So
you maxed out there. What do you think?
Well, it's definitely, I feel like a scrambled egg right now. So.
A little bit. Yeah. So Dan, let me show you another one of the cool things we have in the clinic.
Yeah.
This is our red light therapy.
Okay.
Have you heard of red light therapy?
I think I have. Like I said,
I used to go to chiropractor, but I think it was more like ultrasound that they would do on
Gotcha.
a joint that was having inflammation and stuff like
So
that.
there's a lot of buzz about these right now. Here, feel this. Should be getting nice and warm.
Oh, yeah.
But red light therapy, a lot of people.
But it's warm.
Yeah, no, it's just getting some energy into that part of your body.
Okay.
So it's going to help speed up that healing time. It's going to help speed up reactions happening there. For you, I saw you had a couple of blemishes here.
Yeah.
Probably working in the yard or something.
No, actually, I was I'm a real estate photographer. I was shooting a pool area, and there was like a metal thing coming off the screen enclosure, and it just gouged me.
Yeah. So red light therapy would be helpful for that, to help, number one, accelerate that healing process, but then also so that you don't end up with a scar. It can really help with laying down collagen and things like that,
Cool.
as well as beneath the skin.
Yeah.
So it'll help those tissues there to heal faster. So things like a tendinitis, sometimes people get tennis elbow, or golfer's elbow. Those are tendinitises. They're related to inflammation. Red light's very helpful for those things and clearing them out. But this one's a pretty specialized unit. It applies that heat that you were talking about. It also has the red light and also laser mixed in. So it's a top-notch unit. People usually love this one.
Yeah, that feels good. Let's go see the other rooms.
All right, Dan. So this is a really fun room. We do our massage in here. We also have our infrared saunas in here.
Oh, nice.
So that's what these are. Infrared sauna. It's a way for us to heat our body up, get a good sweat going.
Okay.
And there's been a ton of research coming out on sauna more lately,
Okay.
where exposing your body to these extreme temperatures, if it's hot or cold, you get this reaction and your body dumps protection molecules into your system. So
Was that like similar to, I know I used to do CrossFit. I would go to this place and it was like a cryo, where you would take your body till you stood in it for like a minute or 2 minutes, and it would take your body temperature down to like, I don't know, like 20 degrees less than what it was for a very short period of time.
Crazy cold.
To that.
Yeah. So like when you expose yourself to that cold therapy, you get this release of something called a cold shock protein. Those are the protection molecules that I was talking about. So they're kind of like these little stem cell type molecules that'll go around. They find injured tissue and they go and repair it.
Oh, cool.
The same thing happens with heat. So we get heat shock proteins, and it can really be a nice protective thing for the body.
Gotcha.
A lot of good research coming out on.
You just sit in these, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So now, would you have to take your clothes off and sit in it, like with a pair of shorts, or you just sit in it with your clothes?
Yeah. So no, we definitely
hot and sweaty, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then because it's infrared, usually for guys wear like shorts. And then ladies will be, bathing suits, a really good way to do it.
T-shirt.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
The issue is most of us go from our comfortable home to our comfort. Yeah. You want to get in? Check this out. We go comfortable home, comfortable car, and we never really end up breaking a sweat. So it's something that our bodies need to function well. So you're here.
Yeah. Don't mess up the thing.
I would never mess up the beard. So right now, that's how you'd be in the sauna. A lot of people like these portable ones because your head's out and you don't get so hot. It's not like you're trapped.
Like you get in a sauna, sometimes you feel like you can't breathe because it's so hot.
Yeah.
When we live in Florida and you walk outside, it's so hot in the summertime, you're like, geez, I can't even breathe out here.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit different than that. So it is helpful. But breaking that sweat is such an important thing for the body. It's one of the primary ways we get toxins out of our body. And unfortunately, just not enough of us are doing it enough.
Cool.
It's also built into our whole body detox, like we were saying.
Yeah. No, you said massage. Do you guys do massage here as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people want more of a therapeutic massage. If you got like an achy thing and need somebody to dig into it, we're great at that. We have awesome skills. PTs are very good with their hands. Okay. But also if somebody just needs like a relaxation-based massage, de-stress massage, we've got really good options for that. I love our CBD ointment that we use during our massage. Really helps people relax, and they go home very relaxed and very happy.
Yeah, you're okay to drive after that?
Yeah, no, non-psychoactive. CBD is non-psychoactive.
All right, let's go see it.
Okay, Dan, this is a really cool room.
Yeah.
This is our bioenergetic testing frequency optimization room.
Okay.
Definitely a part of our functional medicine services. So I want to try a bioscan on you today.
Okay.
It's a really quick and cool way to get a ton of information about your body.
Okay.
So a quick 3-minute scan will tell us a lot.
Okay.
And a lot of the times it's a great place for us to start and start addressing the health issues that are going on there.
Okay.
Let me put these on. So these are bone conducting headphones. What you'll do is you'll put them over top. They're going to kind of sit like that.
Like in the ears?
Yep.
Like that?
Right in front.
Oh, right in front.
Mm-hmm.
Right there?
Help you out some. Pretty much there.
Okay. Perfect.
So what this machine will do is it's going to test your body's energetic signatures. So
Is it doing it right now?
not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
But I'll get it going in just a second.
Okay.
What it does do, and we could start in here.
So we can
I'll explain as it goes.
We're explaining it.
Yep.
2-in-1.
Do you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
So right now it's kind of scanning your body
Okay.
and it's looking for different target tissues in your body that might be out of balance.
Okay.
Right. And so it's not like an MRI or a blood test where we're looking at a specific structure. It more or less has to do with how are these things communicating in your body.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a voltometer for your handy people. It's testing the circuitry of your body.
So, this may be completely off. I just recently got a grounding sheet for my bed. Is that similar? Because do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just try to. I swear, I think I'm sleeping better, but
I like grounding. I think the Beamer is a lot more similar to the grounding blanket in that way, where it's kind of trying to get your body back to a balanced energetic state. Yeah. Back into that kind of balance. This one, a little bit different. It's a lot more like acupuncture and Reiki is another one. Those people work in the body's energy system. And so the difference is that we have a machine that accounts for it. Yeah. But you can see now, so like quick test, right?
Okay.
So this looks a lot like what a blood exam would show, right? And we'll get a ton of information. If there's things in here that pop, like if your HDL's low, and then you tell me your diet, and we know you're not eating things that are going to raise your HDL, we're going to have a good idea that, all right, we can go ahead and start moving on with some kind of, intervention that's going to raise that up for you.
Okay.
But it gives you a ton of information. Like these look like a blood exam. This one will give you your chakras. So like right here, your crown chakra is high. And then I'm going to send this to you.
What does that mean?
So I go based on what's here.
Okay.
And crown on the next page, like as you're reviewing this later, has to do with migraines, brain tumors, coma, amnesia, nervous system and muscular system disorders, mental issues, skin disorders. Now, it's not saying you have all of those things. It's just saying dysfunction in that part of the body can be associated with some of this. Gotcha. So it's one of those things we account for.
I can take this off right
now. Yeah, you're good there. We account for it, and it's one way to get your body's energetic signatures balanced again, which is important because if you're wasting a lot of energy, effort, and intention on things that aren't very important in your body, it's not going to function as good,
right. So this gives you some spots that you can really highlight and say, okay, these are off, either high or low.
Yeah.
And try to address them through. How would you go about it? I mean, give me an example of like something that might be off and how you would address it.
So let's say something in here, let's say it targets a pancreatic cell, right? And your pancreas is related to insulin release and sugar handling and all of that. If it's underperforming, then people are going to have trouble with their glucose, right? And their blood sugar and stuff like that. So we'll come up with a well-rounded approach, right? There's no silver bullets. We still know that.
Right.
But we want to layer in as many things as we can to set them up for the biggest success they can have. So while, we're going to address your diet, we're going to get you exercising again, the actual machine itself is something that will help balance that out. So like you did the test, if you put it on one more time, we'll go ahead and do the optimization. which is the actual like treatment for this device.
Okay.
So you'll notice it's a little bit different
Huh?
with the sounds it makes. Hear the difference?
Yeah.
It's more of a tone, right?
Yeah.
Boom.
It's like you're going for an hearing test.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it feels like a vibration in my ears.
Yeah, yeah. So it's playing a specific frequency to try to pull those tissues that were out of balance, the things that were unbalanced. It's playing a middle line tone to get them to come back into balance. So it's training your body to be in balance.
So this isn't just a test, it's actual treatment as well.
Yeah. So for a lot of people, this is built into every single new patient exam we do. When somebody comes into the clinic, we get this as a baseline. For a lot of people, it's a pretty logical jump to go through that frequency medicine package and get all those things greened out. So like as we look through this report, there's going to be a bunch of red and blue in there. What we do is we take those visits and balance those things out so that it's all green, so that your body's got the best shot to function as high as it can with whatever interventions we're going to be doing during your
Gotcha. So when somebody comes in to see you, you put them through this process, and then when they come back, you put them through the process again because you already have the benchmark of maybe what was low or high, and you're trying to bring them back to neutrality. Is that right?
Yeah. Or if, down the line they have something that comes up, we can always rescan them.
Right.
Like, all right, well, back in 2024, here's what your body was looking like energetically. And then 10 years later, if you come back in 10 years, we'll still have the information. We can compare those two things. Like, all right, well, you were here. Now these things have changed. So it might clue us into some other problems going on in your body that we might want to address.
Now, can the people watching, can they hear this, or is it just me that's hearing it?
Just
me?
Yeah, just you.
I'm like over here listening to these different tones and vibrations.
Most people have never experienced anything like what you're doing. So it is a little bit different than what people normally expect. But kind of a trance state coming off of this balancing, the optimization,
Right.
You might feel a little more centered. You might feel a little more clean. And you should have a good rest of your day,
Nice.
So that was it.
I know you mentioned when we were in that first room, you were talking about like detoxification. Is that something that works in hand with this, or is that just something else that you do?
Yeah. So in the clinic, it's like everything feeds the other stuff. So
kind of like we were saying before, the yin and the yang.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're not just a bag of bones. We're a very connected being. Humans are unique. We are mind, body, and spirit. Those are the three things that we account for. Whenever those three things aren't in coherence together, you're always functioning at a level less than you could be.
Gotcha.
So while this one doesn't necessarily detox, it might help your body accept a detox better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or if you have poor digestion and we get your digestion balanced out, now maybe your supplements you're taking are more effective. The foods you're eating are better. Maybe your food sensitivities aren't as bad, kind of things. So that's how this one plays into it. But you can see it's a pretty quick test, right?
No, absolutely. I'll be interested in looking in that a little thoroughly when you send it to me. Just to see.
And each time,
will it have recommendations, or will that's just something you come?
That's typically what we work through. If we were doing a standard new patient intake, we'd kind of work through this together, because I can tell you what your HDL is and what, your ferritin is and different things like that. But it's really going to be your firsthand experience of making sense of it a little bit.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of the two of us coming together to understand it.
Right. Awesome.
I'm going to email it to you now.
Well, this has been great. I mean, I think you really covered a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that you do here. We didn't hit everything, obviously. But if you're interested in, I'm going to say alternative medicine, because that's what it's actually, what do you call, functional medicine?
Yeah, we're a functional medicine practice.
Yeah. So if you'd like to get a hold of Caleb, tell them how they can get a hold of you.
So if you want to get a hold of us, you can contact us through our website, wellnessaccelerated.com, or you can text or call us on our clinic line. It's 904-569-6901.
Great. And then I'll have all of Caleb's information in the description to get a hold of him. And then Caleb may have a special promotion for anybody listening. ISO Jax and Search of Jax is our kind of our code word. So make sure you give that to Caleb whenever you call, and I'm sure he'll give you something special for coming by to see him.
Yeah, if you text ISO Jax to that number that I gave you, it will have a promotion going for it.
That's awesome. Well, Caleb, thank you so much. It's been very informative and eye-opening in a lot of ways. And I know your mother would be proud that you're continuing her work here. So if you're interested in some other medicine other than just what you get from going to your primary doctor, please come see Caleb. I think he could probably help you out, or at least put whatever that you're having issues with in new light.